Oh my God, no.
It's an anonymous source who's dropped this image of an egg, which
Hmm.
seems to be in like a cave. It's been picked up by a few news outlets, Newsweek, and a few others. And I should just say to people listening that this is going to be an interesting one because you have 24 years
Hmm.
of experience with sculptures as a sculptor,
Yeah.
and there's some really intricate detail on this egg.
Then I put it into the upscaler and I just did a standard, I think it was times 2 upscale, and it revealed the images beautifully. I thought it was, yeah, very good enhancement.
As you're enhancing this and trying to bring out the best
Yeah.
of the image, what are you finding?
I'm finding, uh,
The following is a conversation with Peter Osborne. Peter is my friend, and today we're going to be talking about the 4chan egg UFO that was photographed in a cave, allegedly from an anonymous source. It's prior to a crash retrieval, it's suggested. It's going to be really useful today. Peter he's my go-to guy for image enhancements. He's an absolute pro. He also happens to be a sculptor of 24 years experience. Now, considering this egg has some weird marks on it that look like they've been carved into it, he looks like he's the ideal person to talk to. We'll also touch on the Jake Barber case and we'll talk about that as well and have a look at some images. So let's jump in.
oh my God, no. Can you
Okay, we'll go from there.
back away
So,
from the wine, for God's sake?
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So today, Peter, we're going to pretend that I haven't accidentally kept it on pause twice and
Right.
started the introduction twice, and
Mm.
we'll jump straight in. We're going to be talking about the egg UFO photo that you've worked on. This is not the Jake Barber crash retrieval egg shaped UFO that he's on News Nation talking about.
Yeah.
This is a different one.
No.
This one is from 4chan, I think, is the original website, I believe, where it was sort of dropped. And it's an anonymous source who's dropped this image of an egg, which
Hmm.
seems to be in like a cave. It's been picked up by a few news outlets, Newsweek, and a few others, and is circulating online. Lots of people talking about it. A few people having a go at enhancing it, but I don't think any of them have done as good a job as you have.
Mm.
And I should just say to people listening that this is going to be an interesting one because you have 24 years
Hmm.
of experience with sculptures as a sculptor,
Yeah.
and there's some really intricate detail on this egg image,
Yes.
where it seems to have been carved. So we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
What drew you to this one? Where did you find it? Where did you see
Uh,
it?
one of my subscribers sent me it on the morning of the release, and I haven't really been on. I don't know what 4chan is, but I went on anyway and found all this stuff. And it was Strawberry in Italy who sent me it, and she also sent me a video transcript. It was terrific, and so I grabbed everything I could off it, and thought, well, this it's bound to be, bound to be just some good stuff here. I was really disappointed. I couldn't. The AI wouldn't do anything for it. For me. I wanted to get rid of the distortion from the screen that was on because it was taken off a monitor or something,
Right.
and it wouldn't touch it at all. Really disappointed. So I went into Photoshop and went through loads of stuff on that until it came. Yeah, that's a pretty good image. And then I went into the other one, which I think it's called Lightroom. Not sure. And that's really deep stuff, and and you can really fine tune uh, the image with that. And it was great. Yeah, it was good enough. Then I put it into the upscaler and I just did a standard, I think it was times 2 upscale, and it revealed the images beautifully. I thought it was, yeah, very good enhancement. You can see the uh, looks like chisel. Not to say it's not chisel marks. I mean, what's it supposed to be? What's kind of sort of premise have we got with this thing? Are we waiting for it to hatch or something, or is it? Are they
Yeah.
supposed to have flown in it, or?
Well, who knows? I mean, this is the thing that it does go way back though. The sort of hieroglyphics,
Mm,
the craft from Rendlesham had allegedly had hieroglyphics on it and
yes.
some sort of secret hidden meaning or, to be decoded.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of tracks back to some of the UFO lore from years gone by. I don't know. I mean, I've seen a few people that have made some similarities to some things from perhaps ancient Egypt and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
hieroglyphics back then, but I don't know.
Uh, why? Yeah. Why would they be? Is that like the pyramid link or something? But why an egg? It seems such a left field thing to pop up all
Yeah,
of a
well, this is
sudden.
the thing. I mean, an egg shape is one of the many, many shapes that we see from different UFOs throughout
Yeah.
the years. But it's not like a real, it's not like a
An
main
egg.
one. They tend to be orbs or
Yeah.
cigar shapes or
Yeah.
saucers,
Or it's an egg
um,
shape at
or
some point
bells.
before it goes into something else. Probably. But
Yeah. But then now that we've had the Jake Barber egg
yeah.
crash retrieval footage, there seems to be an awful
Mm,
lot more out there that just keeps coming up. And perhaps it's probably the algorithm. Everyone's searching egg, and then all of a sudden we're finding all of these previous cases of eggs. But
yeah.
I found a book recently from Hal Puthoff where he's got a picture of an egg on the front cover, which is interesting because Hal
Mm.
Puthoff is
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
believed to be, or believed to have worked on the program,
Right.
or one of the programs back in the day. So that's interesting to see that connection. But
Yeah.
so,
It's
what were your thoughts then when you're enhancing this and trying to bring out the best of
yeah.
the image? What are you finding?
I'm finding uh, on this one. I mean, I've made a giant egg before.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was working with a partner, Caris, and
Mm.
we had to make about four, I think, for a
Yeah.
dragon's eggs. 2 meters long, huge things.
Did you sell any of them to the Department of
But
Defense
this is what I'm thinking.
for some
And
kind of psyop?
but that the polymer plaster we used, in casting. Once we've got the original in casting, that surface, the surface of this egg, is very just so reminiscent of it. The way it carves, and there's one that's got like a crumble in it, which it's something, and it just doesn't. I just see it as a false or what if it was there? I mean, no one knows anything, do they, about this? What
No.
if it was there for ages and ages, and a wandering nomad came along and decided to carve some things in it that he'd seen in on his travels? But I don't see why ETs or whatever would have and they're they're interesting, but they're pretty naively worked. They're not very. The line works uneven, and there's some sharp edges, and then some bits go off and soft. There's a lot of discrepancy between the soft edges and the hard ones, which make me think like sometimes I've done that when I've worked on a piece, not realised you're working also on another bit and abrading it, taking the sharp edge off, and you have to work it back in again. The slips, like a chisel
Yeah.
slip,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it's very artisan, very hands-on kind of. I'll have a go at this. But that's all I can think. That's my first impression of it. And the cave setting just, it was interesting. The pixel guy that you sent me the link to.
Yeah, there's a guy on. So for those listening, there's a
Yeah,
guy on Twitter or X. I forget his name now. He's very, very new to the scene and he's very popular. He does a lot of stuff in. I think it's. I want to say that it's DaVinci Resolve. It looks
it
like
looks
it.
like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does, doesn't it?
yeah,
So I think he essentially just slows things down and zooms in and sort of puts filters on and stuff. So, interesting stuff.
yeah. What he was
Um,
saying about the color changes with regard if you take a picture from a screen, how that can affect the visual image, overall,
yeah,
and make it look a little like a CGI. That was interesting because I do get that a lot from it. However, I have seen some of the foreground on this egg cave thing, very crisp, gritty. A puddle. I've seen a puddle. I don't know
Mm.
if sent you that
Yeah,
one.
you did. Yeah, yeah.
When you look around it, it's it just seems I could, to, perfectly honest, I see it as a bit of a deflection, and I think it's being carried because there's a chap. Oh, what was that website? Podcast. Can I just pop this up? I think I sent you the link. Can you see that on your screen? No.
No.
Good. Uh, Josh Polarity
Okay.
and Casper Sight. Josh Polarity one was really recent, and he's on about this trench thing where all the orbs are coming from, in Guatemala or somewhere.
Mm.
China's on it, Russia's on it, America's on it, and it's the intensity of the orb sightings, or supposed to be coming out of there, is incredible. And the orbs we've been seeing, the jellies, the Mirror, New Jersey, coming out and saying that was a jelly, the orb, the one we did the plasma thing on, which gives it such an intense veracity to me. And then all of a sudden this egg comes up,
Yeah.
and it goes to that, and that awful video footage of the recovery.
Mm.
It's dreadful, wasn't it? I mean, you couldn't make anything out of that at all. Nothing. It was pointless
Yeah.
and really underwhelming. Yeah,
Yeah,
disappointing.
it was. I mean, it was so difficult, wasn't it? Because, and I haven't done a video on this, and people have sort of messaged me asking me what my thoughts are. I
Mm.
mean, I'm not an expert on what a recovery should look like. So, I mean, you probably want to ask a helicopter, search and rescue kind of person that probably is more likely to be an expert in what recovering something from a helicopter looks like. But I think the two big issues that were raised from most people that I've seen
Mm.
is that on the recovery, the egg seems to, where the straps go around to hold it in place, they seem to squeeze it in
Yeah,
slightly, and you
yeah,
can see a bit of an indentation.
yeah.
Um,
That's all I
which,
got from it.
yeah, you can, and you can see that. There's
Yeah.
there's no denying that. But then what I would say is the assumption then is that if it's a real UFO, it has to be
Mm.
solid. So it wouldn't
Yes.
have an indentation. So that's your starting point, isn't it? So it can't be real if it has an indentation. If it's slightly bendy, it
Mm.
can't be real. And you think, well, we don't know what a real
We don't know.
UFO would be.
Yeah.
Could it be a bit bendy? Could it be? There's all of this stuff from like Roswell with the material that could crunch it up in your hand, and but you could also
That's
hit it with
right.
a
Hammer.
sledgehammer, and it would,
Yeah.
it retain its. So I don't know. There is lots of information in the past and lots of testimony that the material can be super light and bendy.
Yeah.
So that kind of tracks to that as well. So that doesn't really say no, it can't be. But then they argue that, well, then it's most likely, I think they call it a wasp light, which is this aerostat, essentially a balloon. A few people have pointed to one of those. I reached out to the company and said, "Is this yours?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got nothing back from them.
There's a shock.
Just because nobody's. I mean, maybe they have, maybe people have asked, but I just thought, well, why don't? If you're saying it is this thing, it's this aerostat, we'll just ask them, is
Ask
this
them.
one of yours?
Yeah.
But but
Creeping
no,
around the building. Yeah.
yeah, I've not had anything back from them at all.
Um,
But I don't know. I mean, to me, it didn't look like that because
yeah.
it is very distinctively egg shaped, whereas that is a bit more
Yeah.
circular, it's almost tic tac kind of shaped. And
That's true. Yes, it does. Yeah.
yeah,
The egg in the cave. Here's the thing I noticed today when I was looking. Part of it, does it look to you like it's a reflection, like it's giving a reflection off?
yes, yeah,
Right.
right in the center, I would say it looks.
That centerpiece is weird. That's like it's like when you go in close to it, it's like it's almost deliberately obscuring. I don't know if
Mm,
it's me being, conspiracy thing on this or not, but that's an impression I got. Why can't I see that? Why is it like a
yeah,
almost an opaque pinkiness or something? When I
mm,
when I pull the contrast up, try and no, couldn't get anything out of that. But why there's a reflection there, and then you've got that almost, like a plaster carving. Where's the is that? How's that work? Is it supposed to be in jelly, or where's the shine? If that's a very matte finish
yeah.
grain, it's like a sandstone.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that it's sort of the shell of an actual egg. It's that consistency, what you would feel if you touched a real egg,
Mm.
chicken's egg. That's what it looks like. It's that it would have that feel to it. It would be pretty solid, maybe slightly sort of squidgy, like a real egg, where you can give it a bit of a
Hmm.
tiny bit of give, not a lot. It's relatively solid anyway. That's what it looked like to me. Was basically a giant egg,
Yeah.
the same consistency on the outside at least as an egg. But it looks like from that photo, the one that's on 4chan,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it on the Newsweek website, but it looks to me like the that area of the cave is illuminated because of
Mm.
a flash of a camera. Because only part of it, you can see the
Yeah.
foreground of the picture is darker
Okay.
than the backgrounds. So it looks
Yeah.
like the flash is sort of coming from a certain angle, certain height, which is left some of the grounds still
I can,
shadowy.
I can see that. You can't see this on the screen, can you? I've just
No,
had up to have a look while you're talking.
no, I can't.
Yeah. There's awful.
Which you so you would expect, wouldn't you? The center of that mass, if it was slightly smooth, to get some kind of a response from a flash, especially a white object or a light colored object. There'd be something, even if it was really faint, because
Mm.
the texture wasn't super smooth. I mean, this is all guesswork that I'm doing and speculation, but that's
Yeah.
just where my thought process went to.
Yeah. It might be on the other pictures that I can see it more of a gloss
Yeah,
rather than a satin,
right.
or even a matte. But I still don't. I can't figure out how it's supposed to work.
What do you make of the backgrounds? What did you think of the backgrounds, the sort of
I
cave?
know. I know. Some parts of me think, oh yeah, I've enhanced one bit on that. Well, it looks like I've made rocks before. We've made rocks for climbing places, and one of a technique. Once you've done it and you've got your finish, you rub over with soft cloth, a soft abrasive thing, and it just takes up the highlights and gives it some depth. That it does look like someone's given it a. But on some of the front ones, some of the front rocks, if you can see them on those images or not, and some at the back, and then I'll look across to the right, and it looks, yeah, that looks right. It looks correct. But is it the color thing as well that's throwing it out, like the pixel guy was saying, that makes it look so weird and uneven and almost like a set? I don't know.
Yeah.
The,
Did you get any indication of size? So when you're looking at it,
no,
is there anything from your enhancements or from your previous history of sculpting?
no idea. I mean, that cave, how big could you describe that? I've no idea how big that would be, and it surprises me there's no indication of scale put there. If the military had been in, presumably taking these pictures, it'd be like a crime scene, wouldn't it? They'd have measures and stuff put up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, unless someone snuck a cheeky little photo in while someone else just went outside to get some reception on their satellite phone and call someone, or I don't know who knows. I don't know. I mean, what
Mm.
we have to speculate on what a recovery would look like, who's taken it. I mean, there's so many unknowns that we just who knows.
Yeah.
I guess the best that we can do is work with what we've got, which is to figure out if that's if this is this egg is inside of a little if it's tiny,
Yeah.
if we're talking about the size of an actual egg, a chicken's egg,
It could
and it
could
just
well be.
looks big because you've got a right close up
Mm.
photograph, or if it's 10 foot by 10 foot, and it's huge. It's really hard to say. Like you say, there's no
No
indication of
indication
scale.
whatsoever. Really annoying. Really annoying. I'm just looking again at some of those close-ups, and some are really crisp. Some are really crisp images, and there's lot. Oh, that was it on the corners. Some of the corners they've got a pleat where they haven't, you know, corners quite difficult to keep nice and sharp.
Hmm.
If you don't do it right, you do go in from both sides. You have a little pleat in the middle. They've got that on it, so it's not a awfully skilled craftsman. And there's also looks like scotch marks, where
Yeah.
you'd scrape away to get the relief back. Looks like that.
No.
Looks like
Okay.
that. But
So is
why
your
wouldn't it be? Could well be, couldn't it? It could still
yeah.
be that.
So is your thought as somebody that's done this for 24 years um and has had hands-on experience carving and
Yeah.
do you think that this looks like a poor set design by somebody that's
Yeah.
an amateur sculptor?
It struck me straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, them eggs, it's a great egg. And the one we did took about a week to get the master done, something like that. But it's fantastic when it's done, especially when you use the polymer plaster.
Mm.
Even the texture's just like the real thing, but that like a satin and going towards the matte finish. Lovely. And you
So
can,
if
we put all cracks and things coming like dragons supposed to be hatching out of it.
yeah.
Mm.
So how long would it take to make something like this
Well, it's like about a week.
so it will take somebody a week to make
Polystyrene core. You got your centers, so it's on like a spindle. Turn it around, and the other one in, and you got your former, so you got your shape with an abrader on it, and then take it back until you've got your perfect egg.
So it would take somebody just to
And
do
then
the egg
plus,
alone, it would take somebody a week to make that. And then on top of that, we've got these sort of carvings,
you could
hieroglyphics that they're sort of putting into it, which is going to take a bit
you
more
could
time.
do that. You could do that if you had a team of blokes on that. It was just me and my friend Caris. A team of blokes on that. You could do it at no time, couldn't you? You could
Yeah.
certainly turn the poly core in a day, prep it up, and then do the skinning.
Yeah.
Not a problem. That.
Someone would have to know how to do that because not a lot of people know how to turn, turn wood or
We learned a
turn.
lot of wood turning. That was the idea when we got it from. We kind of working ad hoc,
Hmm.
you kind of, well, can we can, let's do it. So it was turning this wheel and just like they used to do in the old days.
Yeah.
Very analog.
That's a hell of a prank though, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
impressive. It's
Got
impressive.
attention though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of attention.
Especially from an anonymous source.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort to go to. And on top of that, to not have
Excuse me.
the cave in question found, like because we've got Google reverse search. So if I, a picture
I
of
did
the
that as
the
well.
cave, yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be able to find that cave somewhere if it's a common, if a few people have been there, you'd be able to go, well, I found that cave, and someone's got a polystyrene egg and put it in there. This is where it's from. It's not there anymore,
Mm.
and it wasn't there, whenever but no one's yet found that. So that's what I find really intriguing is that usually you've got all of the internet debunkers and the analysts
Yeah.
and just people that like getting involved in investigating these cases and they all come together and then they find bits and pieces from each other and put it all together. But
Yeah.
so far, no one's really found anything from this other than a few issues with the video,
Yeah.
and as you say, the way that it's been sculpted and
What
some
you
of the
see is
issues with
what
the
you get, isn't
cave.
it? Yeah, that's it.
Difficult,
Subjective.
difficult.
What do I think it is? I know. But yeah, I think, yeah, well done. Give them
Yeah, yeah, did a good
a
job, didn't
very
they?
good job there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, dude. Well,
Yeah.
what are you working on now? What's to come on? So, if people want to see more, are you going to have some of this? Are you going to do another video on your
Yes.
channel? Yeah.
I've done the video. I've done all the images. Got it all ready. Need to do the voiceover recording, which I hate doing. Procrastinate like a demon. Must pair them socks up now. Yeah. Anything to. Oh God. And I did it tonight and it was rubbish. So I'm going to do it again. But I've already got it all set up. So I've got a great intro music.
Nice. I look
Very
forward to
apt.
it.
Very apt. You went 1972. They only made 3 albums and slipped under the prog rock radar. Right. So very abstract. We're
So
good.
people should go and check that out. Truth in Focus
Focus.
UFO. All one word, YouTube, Truth in Focus UFO. Go and check
So,
out.
yeah. I've got the egg thing and I've got 2 big projects on and a very secret one.
Oh, secret
It's going to
projects.
take me ages.
Are they so secret that you won't even tell me off the air? This is unbelievable. I thought we were friends, Peter.
I can tell you, I'm going to make sure everything's disconnected.
We'll get into the skiff. We'll switch on the
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Jimmy.
Nice one. All right, dude.
You
Take care
do.
of yourself.
You too,
Speak soon.
matey. Ta-da.
Bye now.